Fantastic Four: World's Greatest Heroes was an animated series that began airing on Cartoon Network in 2006. In the same year, Toy Biz announced its line of figures based on the show that were soon to be released, but never saw the light of day, as it would just so happen that Marvel struck a deal with Hasbro to exclusively produce toys from then on, leaving Toy Biz to wither away without the help of the Marvel brand. Let's look at what was displayed in 2006's Toy Fair to see what we missed out on. All the figures were around 5 inches and included Build-A-Figure pieces for Giganto. There is another separate figure not a part of the set. It is a Stretch Armstrong Mr. Fantastic. Toy Biz previously produced a similar toy for the movie series a year prior, and from the looks of it, this appears to be identical with the obvious exceptions. Now onto the action figures. Mr. Fantastic appears in an elongated form. It doesn't look like he has much articulation. From what I can tell, he likely had leg, feet, and head movement. But this is a prototype. On the makeshift packaging, the figure is called the Superposable Mr. Fantastic, so this definitely wasn't the figure in its final form. It is a great interpretation of his appearance in the show. Really, this statement applies to the rest as well. They all emulate their 2D counterparts perfectly. It looks like there are 2 versions of Invisible Woman. Not sure if the one seen in the promo photo is an updated version of the Toy Fair figure or is a completely different figure for another wave. She has more articulation in the promo, including elbow joints, ball jointed hips, and knee joints, and all around looks more detailed than the Toy Fair display, which is another statue-esque figure. But like her husband, this could very well be the same figure, as she is also labeled as superposable. As with most Human Torch figures, you will have a regular Johnny Storm and a Flamon version, as is the case here. It looks like the Johnny figure was meant to come with a fire projectile, unlike his standard superposable Torch variant. I'm surprised to see a second Johnny Storm figure that is a bit different from the one I just described. He overall has the same look, but is missing a jacket this time, and has a Try Me button on his mock-up package that the other Johnny doesn't. This figure doesn't have a physical prototype, so it's just a concept image. Whether or not this was meant to be a no jacket variant of the other Johnny is unclear, but it more than likely was. The Thing also has 2 variants. This one is titled the Ground and Pound Thing, which could perform dual action. It looks similar to the other figure on display, but there are a few differences. The right hand on the displayed figure is molded shut with a hole in the middle, indicating that it is meant to hold something, whereas the Ground and Pound Thing looks to have a hand with posable fingers. Its shoulder joints look different, with the Ground and Pound having better arm articulation that allows for complete movement, as opposed to the more old school look of the display thing, with arms that can only move up and down. Same applies to the legs, with the former having the same level of articulation, while display thing appears to have nothing. Again, this could very well be the same figure, but alongside that variant Johnny Storm I mentioned, there is a mock-up of a Thing figure that also has concept art in place of a finished figure. Could this be the same thing as the one on display? I mean, the Ground and Pound version is also seen here, but if it were this one, wouldn't it have been used in the mock-up instead of concept art? I don't really know, but I'm inclined to believe this was meant to be the posable Thing. Dr. Doom is another figure with an action feature. As stated on the package, he is the atomic powered Dr. Doom, so he likely would have shot out a projectile. Articulation looks minimal, but at this point, it's safe to assume most figures would have the same general articulation, regardless of what is shown here. The Doombot doesn't look too special. I wish it had been replaced with another character, but I suppose in person it would have looked neat, especially next to Doom. It is also superposable, so that's a plus. Mole Man looks nice, and grotesque as he should. Along with Thing, he is a bulky figure, but it seems that didn't get in the way of him still becoming superposable yet again. The only scroll we get from the series is a normal scroll, which doesn't look too bad, but a super scroll would have been awesome, although this was probably before his appearance in the show, depending on when this would have been released. He comes with a tiny blaster that I don't think shoots anything, but it is an accessory nonetheless. It's unknown if other guest characters would have made their way into the line if Toy Biz had continued. An Iron Man or She-Hulk figure would have been spectacular, but as of what was presented, Hulk is the only non-Fantastic Four character to get a spot in the toy series. I really like this figure. I think he looks awesome. He is sculpted well, looks exactly like his appearance in the show, is bulky, imposing, and an excellent display piece all around. If this series had been released, Hulk would be my number 1 figure sought after. And finally, we conclude with the Build-A-Figure assembled, Giganto. This is another awesome figure that is huge. According to the sculptor, Paul Harding, the rocks in the figure's back were made from crushed stones found in his parents' driveway that were molded and cast with clay for the prototype seen here. It's around 13 inches tall, which lends questioning as to how in the world those pieces would have fit in the tiny packaging. But if this had been released, it likely would have been toned down. That finishes up this ill-fated series. If Toy Biz had a chance to release these before shutting down, I think they would have been received well enough. Yes, they aren't in scale with Marvel Legends, but I can see the few gems here and there like Thing, Doctor Doom, Hulk, and Giganto being popular among collectors, regardless of their opinion on the show. Chances are, if these dropped, they would become pricey, as among Toy Biz's final figures were the Fantastic Four Classics, which have become scarce in recent years, so I see no difference for this set if history had taken an alternate route. All we can do is look back at the prototypes and ponder on what could have been.